Hello again, it is me, Bane, and I am on another adventure. Today, I am at Clifton, Missouri, at the start of the Katy Trailhead. The Katy Trail is the longest rail trail in the United States, and it is on everybody's top 10 list. So, here we are. I don't have a schedule. It is Monday. I don't have to be back to work until next Tuesday. I have my hammock and all my gear with me. It stormed last night, so there might be some washouts or something, I'm told. I don't know. That's my luck. Follow along. Let's see what we can find. Officially started on the Katy Trail. I drove to St. Charles, Missouri last night. I made it in around 1 a.m. and I slept in my car at the Bike Stop Cafe, which is who gave me the shuttle ride here. Driving into town about 100 miles from St. Louis, I rolled through another storm. Right before I hit it, I got tornado warnings. It was dark, I couldn't see anything. Horrible lightning storm. And I just kept rolling, I didn't know what else to do. All was well. Got into town and slept in my car. This morning, jumped on the shuttle. It was about a 4-hour ride. About 12:45 currently. I don't have any plans. I am camping the entire way. I have my hammock. I don't have to be at work until next week. So I don't even know how many days I'm going to be out here. I don't know how many miles a day I'm going to push. The day's half over already. It's 240 miles long. It's the longest continuous rail trail in the United States. I plan on goofing off and trying to take my time and sightseeing. Thanks for tuning in. Follow along, and on we go. Well, that's tree number 2. Again, nothing major. I was able to get over it without an issue. Trail maintenance is supposed to be really good, so I don't expect it to be there for very long. Thought it was going to be hot when I got started, but the canopy's been pretty thick so far. It felt pretty nice. Could you hear the cicadas? They are really loud. I hope this mic's working. Anyways, next stop, Windsor.
Well, shouldn't be a surprise, but the restaurant I was going to stop at was closed. I was warned that a lot of things are closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, but on top of that is Memorial Day, so they happen to be closed for Memorial Day. A lot of debris on the trail today from the storm. So I got rocks and twigs and sticks flipping up. Keeps getting me by surprise. On we go. Good morning. It is day 2 on the Katy Trail. Starting in Sedalia today, which is where I finished yesterday. I intended on camping at the state fairgrounds, but it was all locked up. Like, you're supposed to be allowed to park at the state fairgrounds for a fee, but I guess maybe because of the holiday it was locked up, or I just didn't find the right spot because it's huge. So I stealth camped at a park. Sedalia here was the destination, the end point of the Texas cattle drives. So all the cowboys, the drovers that pushed cattle, they pushed them here to sell them. So if you ever watch Rawhide, this is where Clint Eastwood would bringing the cattle. They got a really awesome monument at the state fairgrounds, which I got footage of last night. It's got to be one of the coolest monuments I've ever seen. Well done on whoever designed and paid for that. Sedalia's train depot should be up here in a bit. And then after leaving Sedalia, I believe it's 27 miles before you get to Pilot Grove, which is the next place where there's any services at. Anyways, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't. Follow along. Just left Sedalia. I spent some time there checking things out. Totally worth a stop. The landscape is supposed to change from open fields to more rugged area, it says. So less open fields and farmland, I suppose. 20-some miles to Pilot Grove, 30-some to Boonville. Boonville's supposed to be really cool. Late start to the day. I slept in. Usually I'm up and packed before dawn. I don't want anybody to see that I camped wherever it was I'm camped at. But I was behind on sleep. Anyways, follow along. Critter. The first turtle I've seen so far. All I've seen is squirrels. What's that little dude? Someone on the trail told me yesterday that Clifton City had water, and I thought about biking to it last night to camp. And there was places I could have hung my hammock, but there was no water. Had I went to Clifton City last night, I would have rode past Sedalia and not seen any of the cool stuff that I saw today. So I'm glad that I didn't. Be about 12 miles between Clifton City and Pilot Grove, where I'll probably stop for lunch. And the sign back here said that I'll cross the bridge up here and I'll leave the Osage Plains area. I don't know if I'm pronouncing Osage, O-S-A-G-E. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Osage, named after the American natives that were here prior. It switches from the Osage Plains to the Ozark border. And it says there's some gradual hills. It says riders will notice the gradual hills. I'm in trouble because I already noticed some gradual hills. Just after 11 o'clock, almost 20 miles in today. Taking my time, trying to see stuff. On we go. stopped in Pilot's Grove for lunch. I hit Katrina's Home Style Restaurant, I think it's called. It's Katrina's. I got a double cheeseburger and tots. I should have just got a single because it's pretty big. Tots were really good. Not everybody has tots. I don't know why everybody don't have tots. I'll be honest, if everybody had tots, I probably wouldn't like them as much. Each one of these stops, most of these little towns, have information as you pass by on the signs. One of the things they talk about is the distance between this town and the next, coming up on Boonville in 12 miles. But it says most people consider this part of the trail the hardest part of the entire trail due to the hills. So I guess there's some gradual climbs the first several miles on the way to Boonville. I don't know. I just spoke to someone else who was eating, and they said they felt like it was worse going the opposite direction, leaving out of Pilot Grove, the way I came from. There was certainly some gradual hills, nothing terribly steep, but when you're on these crushed stone trails and you have a heavy load, you feel every grade. I didn't weigh my food, but my base weight, that's everything on my bike, including my bike, everything but water and food, is 68 pounds. And that's counting what I'm wearing. In fact, the only thing I didn't weigh is my shoes. So 68 pounds plus my food, which seems reasonable. This bike is heavy. The bike is around 34 pounds by itself. Well, that's counting like my mirror and the racks that are on the bike. My new panniers that I bought are like 4 pounds. You know, that stuff adds up. Anyways, next stop is Boonville. Should be some cool stuff there. On we go. rolling out of New Franklin. So the sign at Pilot Grove said that the section between Pilot Grove and Boonville is what everybody says is the hardest section, but it's not Pilot Grove to Boonville. It has to be Boonville to Pilot Grove, because you go down quite a bit of elevation going west to east. I imagine going the other way obviously would be more difficult. And I forgot to look at the sign in Boonville to see what it said. I think it's about 10 miles to Rocheport. I don't know how it's pronounced. We're on a Rocheport. I think it's around mile 178. I don't know if I'm riding around a lot more, because the last sign I just looked at said I was at mile 76, but I've recorded 90. I don't think I've ridden around that much extra. I don't know. Boonville is really cool. A lot of stuff to check out there. I got some footage with the drone. Not sure how well it'll turn out. I didn't fly it too much. I don't know what kind of birds they are, but I bet you can see them in the drone footage. They don't like the drone at all. And normally, I kind of ignore the birds and just watch for bigger birds, but they was swarming it. Also in Boonville is your first spot of the Missouri River, and then you bike over the Missouri River. And I guess from this point forward, the trail's supposed to follow the Missouri River, and you're on the Lewis and Clark expedition route. There'll be a lot of Lewis and Clark stuff. I don't remember what the boats are called, but the little museum in Boonville has one of the boats. That's really cool. It's hard to imagine traveling in it. It's pretty small. I don't know what the weather is or what the Weather Channel says, but I'm recording mid 80s to 90 in the sun. It's quite warm. Anyways, like and subscribe. Follow along. Rocheport area. You start passing these Manitou Bluffs. I am certain I'm pronouncing it wrong. So if you're watching, and I am, comment, let me know how it's pronounced. Manitou Bluffs to the left, Missouri River to the right. Got about 14 miles to something landing. My memory sucks. I literally just looked. Cooper's Landing. That's where I plan on camping this evening, assuming they are open. If not, I'm still camping there. So this is quite the change up after crossing the river at Boonville. It has been super flat and the trail really smooth. Now, back here where this construction's at, I just passed. Prior to that, there was some potholes in the road, but nothing you couldn't miss if you was watching. Like, you could dodge them easy enough. But it has been smooth sailing past Boonville. This is gorgeous, and it's a complete 180 from the massive open fields on the other side of Boonville. Passing 176 now with Cooper's Landing at 163, I believe. The mosquitoes are brutal through here. Right before I got to Rocheport, I stopped the video. The tree you just saw, and I got ate up. Same thing around the cave. A lot of water around here. A few more things to check out prior to Cooper's Landing. There's Boat-henge, and there's a cave that Lewis and Clark stayed at on their expedition, and that's kind of cool. I like the historic stuff. My memory sucks, I can't keep track of any of it, but I like it. I give you Boat-henge. It's pretty cool. This is quality content.